how does anger show up? Like, because I know it shows in different ways.
Mhm.
So because you have a lot of experience in there, like, how does fear and anger shows up so you
Yeah,
can actually see some signs there,
yeah,
specifically for men, because it's going to look differently for a woman than for a man.
yeah, yeah. So, well, it can show up as domestic violence, as we talked about before, right?
Yeah,
But I think, and I actually learned this in my own divorce, that so many emotions are the result of fear. It's not how anger shows up. I think we all know how anger shows up. It's how fear shows up. So
hmm
fear can show up as anger,
hmm
okay, which can be yelling. Oh, by the way, so number one tip of living under the same roof of somebody you're not quite sure you want to be married to,
hmm
or if you're trying to do that in-house separation to start the
hmm
clock running for divorce,
hmm
quite common in many states, mine included, Virginia. No yelling, just no yelling, just no yelling. You can't do that in close quarters, particularly if you're in a 700-foot apartment.
Right.
So fear shows up as anger. It shows up as depression.
Hmm.
If you're really scared, it can mess with your body chemistry, your brain chemistry, or whatever chemistry you believe is related to depression, and mess you up, and you're not getting out of bed because your fear has depressed your system. It's almost like it's a defense mechanism, and
hmm
your mind is not going to deal with the fear. It's going to flip you into depression.
Right,
Where
which shows up as being withdrawn or staying in bed,
Yeah,
or just being in bed or
exactly,
being on the couch for hours at a time.
exactly.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not
it.
going to deal with it. So it's sort of a modern version of flight. You're not coming up with solutions for what you're scared about, because maybe you can't, because maybe it's coronavirus.
hmm
So your body flips you into depression. Where somebody like me, I
hmm
remember when my husband left, I was busy. So here's another manifestation of fear, is hyper busyness. And I remember going to I went to a therapist, and I'm like, what the heck? I feel like I should be, because my husband just kind of left. So why am I like doing projects? That's when I started my mediation business. I was like, got to make money. I had been a yoga instructor. I was an attorney for years, but my mom job was fitness yoga lady. So, and all of a sudden I'm digging in and starting this business, and I'm thinking that I'm crazy, because how can I do this?
mm,
But some people, when they get so scared, their distraction is to get super busy.
hmm
If you're living in a household with somebody whose 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 reaction to fear is a type of stress, is to be depressed and just sit there, and you're the type that gets busy, you're going to hate them.
Right. Yeah. So
You're going to hate
that's
them.
actually really important that you said, because now you have two people. So you have one that actually can't get out of bed, and then
Yeah.
the other one is just going to tear the garage apart and then just
Yeah.
reorganize everything and
Right.
label everything and label the kitchen,
Right.
because you have to keep busy to keep your sanity, and it just drives you nuts
Right.
that the other person is actually in bed
Right.
without. And then again, deploy empathy, and then just realize that
Exactly.
we're both reacting to fear and anger a different way.
Exactly. The other's just
Numbness.
numbness and just acting. That's the computer game person, just acting like nothing's happening.
Right, and just pretend it's just not happening. I'm just going
Yeah.
to go, which
I
actually
haven't heard a
is
lot about
also,
that,
which
honestly. I have not heard a lot about that. I've
no,
heard more reactive behaviors that might look like numbness, but it's really a very
well,
strong reaction.
I think you want to check in with your alcohol consumption, or cannabis or pills or whatever you want to, whatever you take to actually deal with your anxiety. It's just the first thing is recognize that you have fear,
Mm,
anxiety, and anger, and you can suppress it. So all those things are
mhm.
suppressant, but I think it's you're playing Russian roulette, and it's
Yeah,
just
good term.
Yeah, it's a good term because I think it's going to pop out at one point and it could really come out really ugly.
Yeah,
So I think every single one of us needs to check in and saying, because I think we all know,
yeah,
are we like, are we drinking a little too much? Are we just consuming some of that stuff that is just not helpful? It is just, I think there's no judgment here because it's unprecedented what we're dealing with.
yeah.
And I could understand that someone is tipping the bottle a little bit more than usual, but I think you might want to reverse that because I don't think it's going to serve you in the long run. Yeah.
Why not have it dry during the sequester time?
Or just try a dry week, just see how it
A dry
feels.
week.
Yeah, but I just think that
Yeah.
this is something as you have friction, I think it would be tempting to go in that direction to
Yeah.
actually generate numbness. And you might want to check
Oh,
in. Well, first,
absolutely.
one of the tip is like, first of all, you're suppressing your immune system, which might not be a good idea to do that
Oh,
right
yeah. Good
now.
point.
All right. Well, Robin, this was awesome. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you. Thank
spending
you.
time and sharing all this.
Thank
I
you.
sincerely hope that this video will make a difference
Me
with a few
too.
people that are having friction in their home. So those were invaluable tips. Thank you so much.